At this time, I would like to introduce UCLA's Dean of Humanities and our keynote speaker, Professor Alexandra Minna Stern. Dean Stern is a professor of English and history and at the Institute for Society and Genetics here at the University of California, Los Angeles. She founded and co-directs the Sterilization and Social Justice Lab, an interdisciplinary, multi-institutional research team that is reconstructing and analyzing the history of eugenics and sterilization in 5 US states. Her research has focused on the history of eugenics, genetics, society, and justice in the United States and Latin America, and she has done research in Chile and other countries in Latin America. Through these topics, she has explored the dynamics of gender, sexuality, race, ethnicity, disability, social difference, and reproductive politics. Dean Stern has been with us as Dean of Humanities at UCLA since November of last year, and we are so delighted to have her in this position. And what is more, habla español. Please join me in welcoming Dean Stern.
Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. Boa tarde. Those are the three languages that I can speak. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, graduates, parents, families, friends, to this commencement. This afternoon, we recognize the remarkable achievement and hard work of our 2023 humanities graduates. This year, we are conferring humanities degrees, majors and minors, on over 1,000 Bruins. Woo! That's a very impressive number. As you all know, because you hear it all the time, you are graduating from the Humanities Division at the top public research university in the country, and you should be so proud of this accomplishment. You have spent the last 4 years immersed in reading, writing, research, language acquisition, critical thought, and depending on your path, community engagement, service learning, digital projects, and community-based work, and more. And you have proven your mettle not only because you did so at a demanding university, but you did so during a major global public health event. And you all know it because you experienced it. You spent many quarters and classes on Zoom, likely sensing that isolation, maybe having to move back home, and you really had to be adaptable, and it was tough. We all lived through it, and I know it was particularly hard for you. You started with certain expectations, and then the ground shifted under your feet, but here you are today. So I really want to salute you for making it through what was a major global event to be here this afternoon. As humanities graduates, you embody the longest intellectual tradition at UCLA. When humanities and basic science departments were established, when the university was founded in 1919. In fact, you might not know this, but you were the centennial class of the College of Letters and Science, which was founded 1 century ago in 1923. More broadly, as humanities graduates, you also embody a much longer and deeper tradition of the study of humankind, that reaches back millennia to the origins of the universities in medieval and the early modern world. You are carrying that light forward with you into the 21st century. One of the most powerful aspects of humanities is that it retains its long-standing commitment to studying and better understanding human experiences, expression, creativity, conflict, passion, and change through the lenses of literature, history, linguistics, and philosophy, just to name a few of the primary disciplines, while adapting and evolving with the times, demonstrating again and again its intellectual relevance. You are at an institution that exemplifies innovation in the humanities. Some of you have minored in digital humanities, which uses tools and platforms to analyze and visualize the corpus of literature and writings. Some of you have done work in urban humanities, looking at the multifacetedness of urban life, social inequality, spatial organization, and local creativity. You have learned and acquired new lenses and techniques to understand the human experience today, in the recent past, and all the way back to antiquity, so a very long time period. As you know, and some of you have studied, our division has great strengths in the ancient world, from Mesopotamia to Athens to Carthage to Egypt and more. And I suspect many of you have had the privilege of taking courses in these areas. One powerful key to unlock the multidimensionality of humanity is languages, over 40 of which are offered in our division, and I know many of you have specialized in languages: Spanish, Arabic, Armenian, Korean, and many more, to get us to that list of over 40. In this sense, the division has prepared you to be global citizens and hopefully attuned you to the complex ways in which social inequality, racial inequality, gender, sexuality, and the intersectionality of identity is reflected in and has helped to produce humanistic work. Now I know that some of you may have seen stories about the crisis or the demise of the humanities in the New York Times, in the Atlantic. I see them on a regular basis. Well, I read about half of them and I ignore the rest. Occasionally, there are some helpful tidbits in there, and it is good to reflect on them. But I'm not pulled into this crisis narrative because they usually are based on a stereotype of humanities as a 1950s English department in which a typically white male professor wears tweed jackets and the canon consists of Chaucer and Melville. Now, to be clear, I have nothing against tweed jackets, although I've never worn one, Chaucer or Melville. A tweed jacket would be too hot, especially in the summer in Los Angeles, that's for sure. And I did read Chaucer and Melville earlier in my intellectual journey. But humanities in the 21st century and at UCLA is a dynamic, engaging, and increasingly diverse division that has a capacious understanding of literature, language, and cultural expression. And graduates, you are receiving degrees that demonstrate that you are well-rounded, empathetic, analytical, astute, engaged with the world and community. And you, again, are part of the longest intellectual tradition of the world. You soon-to-be alums will stand among accomplished and dynamic humanities graduates, such as Randall Park. Were some of you at the commencement yesterday? Yes, and you heard his amazing speech. I got to hear it 3 times. It was great every time. Who majored in English and minored in Asian American Studies, as well as Patrice Cullors, the Black and queer co-founder of Black Lives Matter, who majored in religion and philosophy. Evan Kleinman, who is now on KCRW, Good Food Radio. He's a host, and he majored in Italian, as well as Peter Weller, the famous actor who got his PhD in art history. So you stand among these very accomplished individuals and will make up part of our substantial humanities alumni. Your degree sets you up to take any path, and I want to underscore that word, any path, that you might choose going forward, be it in industry, entertainment, business, nonprofit, public sector, international relations, social justice, community-facing work, or some of you, I suspect, are choosing to pursue higher degrees, master's degrees, PhDs, or in professional schools. So in addition to those, all of those options, I hope that your journey has imparted you with lifelong skills that you will take with you. And I also hope that it has primed you to live fully and deeply, grasping and honoring the full and varied spectrum of human experience and emotion, which you have studied and you have enjoyed and you have sometimes struggled with, as expressed in language, literature, and culturally specific ways that, at their most transcendent, are indeed universal. With that in mind, I'd like to close with a few quotes. The first is from, and it's in English, but you could read the version in Spanish, from a poem that José Luis Borges, the brilliant Argentine poet and essayist, wrote, called Instantes, or Instants, and I'll read the first part. If I could live again my life in the next, I'll try to make more mistakes. I won't try to be so perfect. I'll try to be more relaxed. I'll be more full than I am now. In fact, I'll take fewer things seriously. I'll be less hygienic. I'll take more risks. I'll take more trips. I'll watch more sunsets. I'll climb more mountains. I'll swim more rivers. I'll go to more places I've never been. I'll eat more ice cream and less lime beans. I'll have more real problems and less imaginary ones. I was one of those people who lived prudent and prolific lives each minute of his life. Of course that I had moments of joy, but if I could go back, I'll try to only have good moments. If you don't know, that's what life is made of. Don't lose the now. And finally, another short quote from the ever-pithy Oscar Wilde, whose papers, by the way, are held at UCLA's very own Clark Library, located in the West Adams district. He wrote, "To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, that is all. Graduates, I encourage you to live to the fullest, and please stay in touch with the Humanities Division. Best of luck."